thing. So I begin the part of this rally which is known as the Small Round Women for Rosie.
I'll just stand next to you.
Yeah, not everybody is small and round, I know, but I fear that some of us are. I was here a couple of years ago, and I said that the politics of Canterbury was not reflected by the Tory MP that you had at that time. And that if you would just believe that there was another way, that it didn't have to be like this, when everybody voted the same way, they would get a Labour MP. And I'm not necessarily always right, but I was right then. And I am so proud of Canterbury and Whitstable, the surrounding area, for choosing such a wonderful woman as Rosie to represent you. But we are now at a stage where everyone stops. We hold our breath and we wait to see what you think next. We wait to see, because in the end, power has been handed back to the people, and the people now need to decide whether in Canterbury they want to be represented by Rosie and what sort of government they want. And we don't know what decision you're going to make, and nobody knows. Nobody knows. You think so, Conservative, that's because you're voting Conservative, sir, but it depends what the rest of the country does, and no one knows. And it doesn't matter what a newspaper says or what a poll says, nobody knows until the people speak. And Labour will continue to fight for the next 10 days to make sure that not only do we get Rosie elected, but we get a Labour government. Because there has to be another way, and there is another way. We do not need to live in a country where head teachers beg for money so they can afford to buy pencils. We do not need to live in a world where people are queuing for hours and hours and hours, bleeding in national health hospitals in A&E. It does not have to be this way. We do not need to continue to see increasing numbers of people sleeping on the street. We are the 5th richest country in the world, and this is a choice. We can choose a government that continues to cut back on public services, or we can choose a government that cares and that means it when we say there will be a safety net into which any family might fall, but who will be looked after. We need to get rid of food banks by making sure that people are looked after and they do not need to resort to food banks. It is a national shame that we have had so many food parcels given out in order for people to be able to make ends meet. So please, make sure that you vote for Rosie, but in doing so, you are voting for a Labour government and another way. And let me talk about one other little thing. Some people might be interested in the future of Britain in the European Union. And I can tell you that you also have an added bonus by voting for Rosie Duffield. Not only do you get a great feminist, a fantastic woman, a local candidate, a local mum, a Labour MP, someone who reflects your values and who's been here for 22 years, but you also get a great advocate of internationalism and someone who will fight tooth and nail, as I will, to ensure that we remain in the European Union. Because after 3.5 years of faffing around, we do not believe that people necessarily want to leave. We don't know. And we know that everybody who was born in the 21st century hasn't had a chance to vote. So what we want to do is put a real deal, no unicorns, no false promises, no lies. What does it look like to leave versus remain? And just say to the people, what do you want to do? We just want to be sure. Just make sure that we're sure before we leave. And if you want to leave, then fine. But we think that you don't. And we will see. So, vote Rosie, vote Labour, make sure that you're out on election day, pulling out your friends and neighbours, because we need every single vote. There may be many posters up here, but it doesn't count until people are out voting. Thank you.